dear friends, is the Redeemer of mankind, the Christ. I am coming to you this morning to talk about the issue of forgiveness. I know that many people are holding unforgiveness in their hearts, and some of these people have been holding this unforgiveness for too long. I am reminding you, of the consequences of holding this unforgiveness. I know that people have done unspeakable things. People have done bad things. People have hurt you. But now, it is through the grace of God that we find ourselves in a position to forgive those who have wronged us. Remember that no single person, no single human being can say that they have not wronged anyone, because by the mere fact that you are in the flesh, you are basically in sin. Remember that flesh is sin. You are born into sin. You're born with the capability to transgress the laws, and this is something that all of us need to be aware of. We need to realize that ultimately God is commanding us and saying to us that we need to recognize that none of us is perfect, as we are compared to the law. Remember that the law is perfect. The law of God is perfect, and the law of God serves the whole of creation. The law of God works very hard, night and day, to keep all the whole of creation in balance and in check. So now, my dear friends, I want us to have an understanding, because if you die holding this unforgiveness, the one thing that God is going to remind you is that you are still holding unforgiveness in your heart, because you've got the ability to forgive, You choose not to. You simply choose not to. It's not like you cannot forgive. You just choose not to forgive. Remember, if you cannot forgive others, then God Almighty cannot forgive you your own transgressions. So you need to put yourself in that position. Can you bear not being forgiven by God? Can you take it when God says, since you have not forgiven others, I cannot forgive you either? Remember that God forgives those who forgive themselves, also those who forgive others. This is a law that God has put down. So I know sometimes people say, for what that person has done for me, towards me, I cannot forgive them, or how do I forgive, or how do I go on from here? They are stuck in this little prison, of unforgiveness. Only they are stuck in that prison of unforgiveness. They've shut the door and locked themselves into that prison of unforgiveness. Ask God. The forgiveness spirit comes from God. Ask God for it. If you are struggling to forgive someone, the easiest way is to ask God. Because remember, if you are found in a similar situation, where you have hurt someone, you'd hope and wish that they would forgive you. And I mean, most of the time people will say, yeah, but how can I forgive a person who doesn't even ask for forgiveness? Remember, the forgiveness that we are talking about is doing you good. It's not about the other person, it's about you. Because if you cannot forgive them, or if you do not forgive them, you only hurting yourself, and you shutting the door, of opportunity upon yourself. You are locking yourself up in that prison. So you can set yourself free. You know, you can escape this prison of unforgiveness by going before God and saying, God, this is the situation. Not that God doesn't know about it. God knows about it, but you go and say, this is the situation. So and so has hurt me so bad that, you know, I can't even sleep at night when I think about it. But I need you to help me, you know, to forgive them. For your own sake, to forgive them. Remember that this forgiveness works for you. You know, you're looking at another person, and because of what they've done, the choices that they've made, and then now you can't move on. You are stuck. It can be maybe your relatives, it can be your father, it can be any person, you know, your spouse or whoever, or your former spouse, or whatever the case may be. But remember that you are commanded to forgive them. You know, God is not asking you, He's commanding you to forgive them. Forgiveness comes from Him. If you're struggling with it, ask Him. Ask God. He will put that spirit in your heart to be able to forgive. You know, when you are hurt, I understand, you know, it's not like it's gonna heal overnight. You know, it's gonna take time. The process of healing takes time. You know, but that doesn't mean that you are incapable of healing. That doesn't mean that you cannot move on. That doesn't mean that you can't find help in terms of forgiveness. I need you to understand that. I need you to move on. I need you to open your heart and release those people. Open your heart and set them free, you know, because you need it yourself. You know. I hope that this has helped someone. I hope that this has empowered someone to understand that you can't carry on holding unforgiveness. You only hurting yourself. God forgives those who forgive others. That's a law. Thank you.